Good now, everyone. I hope this broadcast finds you well. My name is Artorius Winchester, Scholar of the Dreaming Glade, and welcome back to another round of VTuber-inspired cocktails which I'll be making tonight. As you may notice, I've decided to change up the BGM a bit back to my just chatting kind of music. The Valhalla stuff was nice, and I think my head was in the right place when I picked it, but I've noticed on the past few streams, it's been a bit too, like, high energy, maybe. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'll listen back to this one and be like, ooh, not sure about that one. But, I thought I'd try out the different background music for this stream anyway. Just, you know, see how it goes. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about tonight now that I've finally got going. You'll have to excuse the delays. I have a ring light kind of above where the, set is. Well, kind of the set. It's essentially just a desk I've cleared off, but, where I'm going to be doing the actual hand cam portion of this stream. So in fact, I can turn that on briefly, give you a wave. Hello, I'm here. But yeah, there is meant to be, and you probably see the shadow of it come up here, a ring light. This fucker. But for some reason, I don't know why, whenever I try and turn it on, just immediately shorts out. Which is very frustrating because, as you might be able to see if the camera can adjust in time, shot looks so much better when this is lit up because you don't see like the shadow of my phone, which I'm using as like the camera here. And yeah, so lots of behind the scenes gubbins essentially that I've been trying to fix for the past quarter of an hour. I think I've got everything else sorted. Maybe I haven't because I've been fighting that. Who knows, honestly. Oh, speaking of fighting things, where has that gone? There we are, that's there. But yes, anyway, let me knock the old camera off for the moment. And yes, so VTuber Cocktails the third. I put out the thumbnail for the stream earlier today to see if anyone could guess which two VTubers I was going to make cocktails from. But I'm going to go and reveal the first one of those right now. Our silhouette on the left, as it were. Our first VTuber for tonight is none other than... Did you guess Girl DM? I did use a second model, which I'm going to just go on record saying I really like. Although I know when people think of Girl DM, they think of her first and I guess newest. Like the 3D models, essentially. Because her 3D models are top-notch. But I really like the 2D ones, so that's what I've tried to use for all the art here. But yeah, so our first cocktail is going to be a Girl DM-inspired one. So... Let me walk you through my thought process on how I kind of... I say how I came to do this drink. I have to admit, both the drinks this week have less been, oh yeah, this was my plan for making the drinks, and more, I made the drinks, and then this is where it ended up on my scales. So it's a bit backwards compared to usual, but it works. At least I'm going to keep telling myself that. Ooh. Actually, I'll do that in a minute. I'll change the text below in a minute. But yeah, so our Girl DM cocktail. First off, on the flavor front, we're going, and this one probably warrants a bit of explaining, but we're going on the exact half point between bitter and sweet. Now, this doesn't mean flavorless. It means, I think there's a very specific flavor, which I'll reveal to you once we get to the ingredients for this particular tincture. That... Yes, where was I? That was it. Yeah, there's a specific ingredient in this that has a very unique and defined flavor, but I wouldn't exactly call it bitter or sweet. I would very much call it, say, a somewhat halfway house between these two. Potentially. Maybe it leans more... I don't know, I see. It can lean more sweet or more bitter, but I'll stop trying to describe it without its name anyway, because as soon as I say it, it'll all make sense. Weak or strong? We're going slightly on the strong side. Now, admittedly, I thought I'd move that a bit more towards the center, but we're going ever so slightly on the strong side, but not much. There's probably a very good reason, because if I remember, Girl DM, like, from her streams, can drink a fair bit, so there's warrant to make, like, a strong cocktail here. But, again, like, I feel like this is where the cocktail ended up with its flavor, you know, because I was trying to get the flavors and the colors more than the alcoholic strength, right? So we've ended up with something that's kind of closer to the middle. You probably could make it stronger if you wanted. Yeah, you could, in fact, you could probably quite easily just throw another like a little bit of gin, which is the base spirit for this drink. But yeah, throw a little bit more gin in there, and you'll probably have yourself that does a bit more justice, shall we say? Simple and complex. We're going kind of moderate on the complex. I'm sure the kind of astute and cocktail-minded among you will probably guess where this is going when I say this drink does involve an egg, and also some fruit and a couple of other, bits and bobs of kind of more liquid ingredients, shall we say? But yeah. We are kind of going moderate on the complex here. It's not the level of complex we were going with the Ramos Gin Fizz from the Maffolga Fizz. Kind of like that kind of headspace from last time. Although, I have to say, that drink did really inspire me to start trying other gin fizzes and eggs in other things, and I do really like that now. So, a victory for trying new things, shall we say. And on the hot and cold front, we're obviously going all the way to the cold end. I need to come up with something better for that scale. Will I ever? Probably not, but, It doesn't really need to be a slider, essentially. It just needs to be kind of more of a binary, that last one. But yeah, so other notes to do with this drink. So I wanted to make something that's a bit unusual. And the ingredient I've been hinting at a while is some mint liqueur, which I'm going to grab so I can get it ready on camera. As soon as it's, as soon as it's ready, essentially. But yeah. Now, mint in cocktails isn't necessarily so unusual. I mean, doubt you can really call it unusual when things like the mojito exist. But mint liqueur, I think, is a lot harder to push. It's a lot stronger in its mintiness. So much so that I've tried it in a number of drinks, and it's just made them taste like mouthwash. It's very, like, if you get the amount of this stuff wrong, it is lethal. It's kind of, antiseptic, kind of disinfectant-y tasting. But in the right amount, like I think I've got with this drink, and I'm pretty proud of this because I've actually managed to get a drink that this works in, but in the right amount, lovely, minty, a flavor you don't get, like, in a lot of cocktails, I feel. And, I wanted to make something... Oh, excuse me. I wanted to make something nice but unexpected. And that kind of goes with the name of this drink as well. Like, I love kind of Girl DM's kind of dry sense of humor and, like, kind of flat sarcasm and, kind of good use of, like, misdirections and that are kind of, like, core to her, personality is the wrong word, but definitely her kind of, like, comedy on stream, shall we say. It's something, like, it's kind of a part of her essence I wanted to bring into the drink if I could, which, it's a bit of an abstract concept, I understand, so I could take that in a number of ways, but this is kind of what I wanted, like, what I took from her, as well as the color green, obviously, which this mint liqueur is. It's like, I wanted to make something that's a bit unusual, hits you with a, ooh, okay, but is actually very nice. And I've already mentioned on the strength front, but I'll mention it here again. I could have made this a lot stronger, because I think, Girl DM is kind of... I want to say she's a heavyweight. Maybe I've made that up. Maybe this is entirely wrong. It's one of those, this was revealed to me in a dream moments. But, yeah, I wanted to... Yeah, I essentially made the drink with the kind of with the mintiness and the wanting to make kind of like a gin-based drink in mind. The strength ended up where it was, and I didn't want to mess around with the ingredients too much because, like I said, excuse me, this mint liqueur is it can go very wrong very fast if you get it in the wrong amounts. So, without further ado, may I now present to you the oh, there's the button. The DMGF, which stands for DM Gin Fizz. Don't know what any of the rest of you thought the GF stood for, but it's Gin Fizz. Right. Now, here's where I would switch over to... In fact, I'm going to... actually, I'll get that first. So here's where I would switch over to the camera. However, I've just noticed I'm missing a couple of ingredients because me fighting with my camera setup at the start has meant that I've missed a couple of things from my fridge and freezer downstairs. So I'm going to run and quickly get them, and then as soon as I'm back, we'll turn the camera on and we'll get this thing going. Back in just a second. Righto. Back. And before I forget, because I've just looked at stream as I've sat back down here, let me go and change that text over. Just now serving. Right, there we are. That should be that. So, let's get into making this drink, shall we? First and foremost, I need to switch to my lovely camera here. Which has got a huge shadow in the foreground now, but there's only so much I can do about that, unfortunately. At this stage, I shall just have to, deal with it for the time being. So, we start a gin fizz with a good helping of gin, obviously. Which I have got here. Just some London Dry. We're going to do 1.5 ounces of this. So, here's a time of stream where even I try and accurately pour stuff when there's a microphone, a camera, and 3 other bits of shite in front of me. Right. Try and get this on screen. So we have our first ounce of gin. And our other 1/2 ounce of gin. There we go. Then, we want 1/2 ounce, and only 1/2 ounce, of our Mint Liqueur. I shall try not to, kind of do that to the camera where I reach over and kind of like pop from my gloves and my sleeves, shows, but yeah, to be honest, this whole setup could use a little bit of a redo at some point. But we'll roll with it for now. So anyway, yes, 1/2 ounce of this, Get 27 Mint Liqueur. It is potent stuff. Very, very potent. In fact, if I open it up over here and give it a quick sniff. It is, okay. I got the lid. Whew. Yeah, it is like essence of polo, is how I'd probably describe it. So we want 1/2 ounce of this stuff. There we go. That green color. Going right in. I shall put the lid back on that. Best as I can, anyway. Do like these gloves for streaming. I think they make things look very nice, but they also are minorly inconvenient when dealing with bottle caps and minute movements, shall we say. I did try and get thin ones so it was affected less, like if thicker ones I'd have absolutely no chance with, but yes, it's better than nothing anyway. Next up, we want 3/4 ounce of one of the ingredients I forgot. Some simple syrup. So here's some I've brewed here and put in a bottle. For those of you who don't know what simple syrup is, it is essentially as close as you can get to 2 parts sugar and 1 part water without the sugar recrystallizing. Now, I can never quite get that far. In fact, even with this, you can probably see in the bottom of the bottle there, like there are some crystals kind of just coming back. Which is not as bad as I've had it before, where like the entire bottom third is just sugar, like dense, solid, crystallized sugar. But yeah, I think the best ratio that I tend to use tends to be about like, it's not 2 to 1, it's more like 3 parts water to 5 parts sugar, something around there. I can never remember the number exactly, to be fair, I just kind of eyeball it, but wait, let's try and, there we are, get our way into this. So we want 3/4 ounce of this, so a respectable helping. Let's pour this in here, and I've got to keep an eye on it to make sure we don't go all the way up. Yeah, I'll keep it going about there, I'm going to say. So about 3/4 of an ounce. That's probably a bit over, actually, but it's fine because most of the sugar will just stick to the inside of my jigger. So a little bit over is kind of all right for our purposes. Let's put that in there as much as we can. There we go. Right. Nice drop of that down there. Now we have the two ingredients that are going to take the most work for me anyway. The first up is we need an ounce of lemon juice. So I have, for the view of the court, 1 lemon. I'm going to simply cut in half. Like so. Probably shouldn't do that directly onto this table, but I forgot to bring a mat up here, so we're dealing with it. And then we're going to plop this in our Mexican elbow juicer. And try and squeeze directly into here. I'm actually going to stand up while I do this. I'll try and get it on camera, but just to avoid me spilling a bunch of lemon juice everywhere. And this is a neat trick for you as well, if you've got one of these and it tends to, you tend to not be the best at aiming it. In fact, let me put this right under here. So I'm going to stand up a bit, like a little further away from my mic, and then just close this, put some juice into there, and hopefully I can actually see where I'm aiming. So let's give that a shot. We go. Now, I personally like to try and flip my lemons around a bit while they're in here, see if I can get the most out of them. You always find if you squeeze them a little more in a couple of different directions, very often you'll get a little bit more juice out of them, and every drop counts. Let's have a go on that side. There are another couple of drops there. This around here. I think it slid back towards the middle, but it's fine. Hope this way. The idea is to try and get like the bits at the side that haven't been squeezed quite as well, but it does stuff it back towards the middle quite a lot. So I'll give it one more go here. No, it's not really worked either. And then we shall say, so long, fair lemon half, we knew ye but for a moment. And we'll fire number 2. I think I've got a good eye on this from here. Oh, it looks like it. There we go. Ooh. Got some juice coming the camera's way, but luckily we seem to be fine. God. I tell you what, I don't mind these Mexican elbow juicers. They're alright, they're serviceable. But, God, what I'd give for one of the ones that are, like, all contained. Like the plastic ones. That seem to work so much better in the long run. Right. Again, just gonna squeeze this in a couple of different ways. Hopefully get it to express a bit more juice. Yeah, well, it expressed a bit more something. I'm not sure about juice, but... right. Okay, that looks like about an ounce to me, so we're going to leave that there. And juice it to the side. Let's have a... oops, right. Yeah, let's have a look, see how much went in, how much went overboard. So, in. About an ounce overboard. Yeah, not too much else. So... pour our ounce of lemon juice in there. And finally, no gin fizz is complete without the white of one egg. So we're going to be cracking that in there now. This bit always mildly terrifies me. Because if I crack this egg wrong and the yolk goes in, I haven't fucked it up, I'm making an entirely different drink, but still. A certain degree of professionalism we like to pretend we have around here, and that somewhat mars it. Whoa. Okay. That has gone a bit south, but we can recover. Damn it. Right. How do I fix that? Don't worry. I've got this. All I need is a spoon. I'll be back in just 1 second. Ay, 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 ay. You've recovered it. Which just goes to show, even if you do mess this up like a complete clown, like this guy over here, you can still recover it. Break that. Go. Okay, right. And I'm going to go dispose of this. I'll be back in just a second again. Okay, my apologies. We are back. This is the stream that goes wrong, as it turns out. As a fun fact, though, I was able to fish the egg yolk out there and have it not be too big of a deal because that's, like I said, that's actually just another kind of drink. I believe gin fizzes made with just egg white are called silver fizzes. Just yolks are gold fizzes, and with both white and yolk are called royal fizzes. In case anyone happened to know. But look, there we are. There's our drink with egg white sans egg yolk. So, as with most egg drinks, what we're going to do is we're going to put this on here. You may notice I've got a new pair of gloves on, by the way. Can't imagine what happened to the old pair. Some egg-related travesty, shall we say. But yeah, I'm going to dry shake this for about a minute or so. Just make sure that the white's been kind of nicely distributed throughout the drink, I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, it's important to always dry shake egg drinks for a little bit before you shake them. I say wet shake them, I mean shake them with ice. Dry shaking them just means without ice, in case I haven't made that clear. But yeah, that's what I'm doing now, although with the way this stream's going, I wouldn't be surprised if I jinx myself here, and... ooh. Okay, it didn't explode everywhere, did leak a little, but we can deal with that. Gonna just keep shaking it a little bit more. Mopping up the excess with my gloves. Yeah, there we go. Just a little bit more on this now for the dry shake. I'm gonna say... there, because I'm bored now. I think if you shake it dry more there, you get more of a froth. Should I shake it a little more, actually? Yeah, you know, actually, I've changed my mind. I'm an indecisive fellow, and I will shake it just a little bit more. I'm also shaking this, probably not how you're meant to, but mostly upright, just because I really can't afford to get egg in here. Where I currently am, like in my streaming setup, shall we say. This is, like, just next to this is where I stream most of my normal stuff. And also, you know, work and sleep. And do a lot of my life, I'm gonna be honest. So... we can't really afford to have it smelling of egg. Not particularly after I just cleaned it today. Right. There is a dry shake. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open her up. We are looking a bit frothier. We're going to add some ice cubes. I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, and 4 of these little hexagonal ice cubes in case people are wondering, you know, what amount of ice do I use? It's, whatever you think roughly equates to that if you're following me. Although if you're following me so far tonight, then, you've got egg yolk all over your hands. So, perhaps not the best idea, but I commend you for your bravery. Right, we're now going to... I guess this would be called wet shaking, but I don't like that. I hope some of this is coming through on the mic, because now the ice is in there, it's really clinking and clanging. But whether I've set my audio filters up too good, and it's just, not coming through now, might be another thing entirely. Also, I hope my voice isn't bouncing around too much while I'm shaking, because I've been talking while shaking, and I've been trying to kind of maintain good posture and, you know, tighten up my chest to make sure, there isn't too much of that going about. But, it might be an acquired skill. You might have to bear with me on that one. Gonna give this a really good shake again, because it's a gin fizz. We really want that froth. Ooh. We also really want to remember to breathe as well. That's not a bad call. Make sure we're not coming apart here prematurely. Give this a shake for a couple of minutes, I'd say. Just really want to make sure it's all mixed through. And that you're going to get that nice frothy effect now that you don't have to worry about your shakers coming apart, because, fun fact about ice, it cools stuff down. Such as the drink and the air inside your shaker, which is actually why your shaker closes. Because that cold air, well, ideal gas law essentially, but like temperature goes down, pressure and that goes up, so you have this pressurized canister of air essentially, which makes a seal. So your drink doesn't escape when you shake it around. When you're dry shaking, you don't have that temperature difference, you don't have that pressure seal. So you're a lot more up shit's creek there. You have to be very much more careful. Very much more careful, that is a sentence I just said, huh? Right, anyway. Moving on to the actual drink. We're going to serve it in this highball glass. And let's crack this open and see what kind of disaster I've made. I have done a test run on these, and like I said, I did very much enjoy this drink. There we are. There she is. Well, it certainly smells minty. Let's pour her in. I'm doing this off camera. I'm a fool. But it's fine, because that's only half the drink, because the final step is to top this with, most recipes say some kind of seltzer or club soda, but I'm not a fan of either of those, so we're doing lemonade. We're sweetening this thing up a bit more. Let's get that in there. I would leave a bit of room at the top, because fizzes tend to fizz up. So we're going to let that stand for just a minute or so. Let it get its bearings on which way up is again. Should I do a little more lemonade? I can do a squeeze more lemonade for the perfect top. Just a tad. There we go. Ooh, that might go over now. Well, it's fine. If it does, I'll drink it. But you can already see the kind of drinks sinking to the bottom and you get that beautiful, like, froth at the top. I am going to... While the going is good here... In fact, no, I'm going to just get it in a sort of nice kind of frame. There we have it. There's our drink. I was about to try and point to it, but I was worried that was going to knock it over. Let me very quickly... Yeah, well... That is a gin fizz. So, there is our drink. Because I need to let that settle, actually, I can let you guys watch that for just a second or two. Hopefully it doesn't spill over. I mean, surely it wouldn't do that while I'm away just cleaning my shakers out, right? It wouldn't do that to me. Surely not. But yeah, I will be back in just a second while I clean that stuff out, and then we'll try this, and then we'll go straight into the next drink. Apologies for so much getting up and down tonight. I'm a bit disorganized, I'm not going to lie to you. And also, I could really do with a better setup where I'm closer to, like, a fridge freezer. But we make do with what we've got here, and this is what I've got. So, yeah, I will be back in just a second. Please enjoy looking at this marvelous drink. And we are back again. Apologies again for so much kind of getting up and down this stream. That's actually separated a lot nicely. I might take another photo for Twitter later for that. There we go. Right. But enough photographing the thing. Oh, also I should mention, that's probably the last time I should have to get up for this stream. Don't worry, I guess, about any further interruptions unless something disastrous happens, like I spill everything everywhere. Because now I've just said I don't have to get up anymore. I have naturally jinxed it. So something is going to happen that's going to be disastrous. But for now, we've got a nice drink to enjoy, so why don't we get stuck in? I only got the foam on that bit, but yeah, the mint's coming through strong so far. Not a bad thing. Like I say, it's very easy to over-mint these things. But I think, for the moment, it's looking alright. So, let's take another swig, see if we get some of the actual drink this time. Yeah, there we are. Blessed green drink stuck behind a cloud. That is very good stuff. Because, like, the top bit seems to be a lot of where the mint's mostly infused. So you get through, like, this very kind of minty kind of cloud. I'm tempted to say it's, like, almost sorbet-esque, but this is far lighter than something like that. But yeah, you get through this very kind of, like, dense minty cloud, and then you're rewarded with this just oasis of sweet kind of minty nectar at the bottom, essentially. It's a fantastic drink. I'm going to have to stop describing this using just mint, because there are a couple other flavors going on here, obviously. The lemon, I think, helps cut through, because, like, obviously the lemon hasn't quite infused into this as strongly as the mint has. So, whereas this is, you know, a lot of mint, kind of mint and stormy, maybe, is how I'd describe it. This bottom bit, you get the lemon cutting through to make the mint less harsh, and then because of that, it allows things like, you know, the gin to give its kind of nice, light, kind of, almost like herbally notes. The sugar also, you can kind of really tell, sweetens the whole deal, as you'd expect it to, but, like, it adds this nice kind of sweet note, which I think is needed with the mint, because mint by itself is, you know, a bit full on, but it's the reason why mint chocolate goes so well, because you have mint and sweet. And obviously, chocolatiers have also worked out on that front that alcohol and chocolate go together. Ergo, alcohol, mint, and sweet stuff, match made in heaven. Yeah. And the thing about it as well is that not only does the egg, obviously, sorry, I should rephrase that sentence. Not only is the egg responsible for this huge head of fizz you get on the drink, it also makes the whole thing so smooth to drink. Like, this is undoubtedly one of the smoothest, like, I mean, all fizzes are just incredibly smooth, and if you haven't tried an egg in an alcoholic drink, I implore you to, you know, if you're worried about the eggs, buy some, you know, as fresh as you can, use them on that day, so they're definitely not off, because that's the one danger of using raw eggs, that if you have an off one, you're going to have a terrible time for a couple of days. But I bought these eggs that I used in this literally yesterday, so they're not going off for, you know, a good couple of days yet. And yeah, I implore you, essentially, if I get back on topic, to try an alcoholic drink with an egg white in it. Like, you don't have to do the yolk or, like, the royal kind of fizz I was talking about earlier, but egg whites in drinks are so good. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Like, I literally, since making the Mafolga fizz, I have been converted. Like, it's something I used to think, you know, why on earth would people eat raw eggs? That seems, like, suicidal and prone to salmonella. And then I did some research into it. Salmonella hasn't been a thing since the 90s. If you're in the UK at least, and any of your eggs are stamped with a red line, that means they've been checked by health authorities to say they haven't got salmonella. So, you know, if that gives you any peace of mind on that front. So the only way an egg could, like, you know, give you a bad time is if you're allergic to it, or if Sorry, excuse me. Had a bit of a cough over the past couple of days, and it's decided to creep up now. Yes, the only way an egg could harm you in a drink like this is if you were allergic to it, or if it was gone off. So, buy them fresh. Don't eat eggs you're allergic to, although I hope they don't need to say that. And try a drink like this. It's a bit of work, but it's so rewarding. Like, I'm gonna have to have another sip of this. I love it. It's just right as well. Like, I've managed to make a drink where this doesn't kill the drink by making it taste of mouthwash. Like, maybe you guys aren't familiar with this Get 27 Mint Liqueur, but you have no idea how easy it is to mess a drink up with this stuff. It's evil. Like, if you use it right, it's fantastic, but mostly it's evil. Oh. But anyway. Enough ranting about mint and eggs and the various other components that make up this drink. The sum total is that this drink... Excuse me again for coughing. The sum total is that this drink is fantastic. So, I'm going to put this one aside for now so I can enjoy it later. There we go. Let's move on to our second drink, shall we? So, let's bring back the presentation. There we are. So, our next VTuber, and don't worry, the change to black text is intentional there, because we're going a lot lighter on colour this time round. Our next VTuber that we are making a drink in honour of is none other than Amano Pikami, a face that I'm sure a lot of you will recognise, even if you weren't that familiar with her before she graduated. She was someone who I watched, kind of alongside other VTubers. I'm not going to claim to be some, like, you know, mega fan. But I was a fan enough that I thought, on my next cocktail stream, after I heard that she was graduating, I wanted to give her a fitting, you know... It's not much. I can only do so much as, you know, I guess a content creator and, you know, a content creator my size, and as, you know, a person with limited reach. I guess I'm saying the same thing twice there, aren't I? I digress. But yeah, it's something I wanted to do as just a personal... I was a fan of Pikami. I want to do this, you know, as a tribute in honor of her. And yeah, I hope that wherever she is, that she's, wherever she, you know, whatever she's doing now, that she's having an absolute whale of a time with it, because she goddamn deserves it. Oh, but anyway, sorry, enough about that out the way. I just feel like I had to clear this, because this is the first time I've had on the show a VTuber that's graduated. Ooh, let me just change the text here as well. But yeah, it's the first time I've had on the show a VTuber that's graduated, and I wanted to clear the air that, like, I'm doing this purely because, you know, purely because I like Pikami, and this is something I wanted to do. But yeah, anyway. So, where does Pikami fall on these scales? As I'm sure everyone can probably expect on this first scale, we are leaning sweet. Absolutely. I don't think there's anything you could say to convince me to not make this drink lean sweet. It is... I mean, yeah, there's nothing really more to be said, really, you know. She was sweet as anything, and so the drink should reflect that. Now, the weak strong thing. I'm no expert. Again, like I said, I'm a fan of Pikami, but I wasn't there for every single stream or anything like that. I can't remember what her alcohol tolerance was like, but I seem to remember it leaning on the weaker side, shall we say. But this drink, you see, I've kind of made it lean slightly strong. You might think, oh, that's a bit unusual. Like, I wonder what the theory is there. All I'll say on that front is that it will make perfect sense as soon as you see the name of the drink. Just bear with me on that one, because, like, I had a great idea for a name for a drink, and I essentially built backwards from that on this one. And yeah, that's why that strength is there anyway. Simple to complex. We're going dead simple. Again, to do with the name I thought of and the kind of base drink we're riffing off of, because this one isn't trying to reinvent the wheel. I just want to make something, you know, that's sweet, simple, and good. And, I mean, obviously cold as well. I'm not, like... trust me, when I start making hot toddies or something, I will let you know well in advance of this bar turning up, probably. Because I'll say, oh, it's going to be like the first hot drink we've ever made. Although I'm not even sure how I do a hot drink in my current setup, I'm going to be real with you. But, yes, we shall make a drink with these parameters. So, I wanted a sweet and easily sippable cocktail that isn't too much hassle to make. And as I've already mentioned on the previous slide here, a lot of this comes from the name. Because I wanted to make a tribute cocktail for Pikami, and then I thought of this name, and I thought, that's where we're going. That's absolutely the drink we're making. I have to make this. So now presenting the next cocktail in honor of Amano Pikami, we are making the Daiyokiri. I don't think there could be a more fitting cocktail. I think I've outdone myself on this one. Like, I don't mean to, you know, I'm trying not to break my own arm jerking myself off over here, but I think that's really good. Right, so let me just update the names on the stream, which means I have to scoot my chair over, so 1 second. Alright, there we are. So, let's get to making the Daiyokiri. So, first things first when making this drink. It's a daiquiri. So, we're going to want rum. Personally, I'm going to use one of my favorite rums. This El Dorado 8 years aged stuff. It's beautiful in color. It's got some nice butterscotchy notes, which, again, kind of feed into the sweet vibe I'm going for. And also, I just really like this rum, I'm going to be honest. Most of the reason why I'm using this is because this rum's great, in my opinion. I'm sure there'll be some rum snob out there that's like, oh, he really likes El Dorado. Can't believe he doesn't like looking, you know, this specific one that costs 700 quid. And it's like, well, no, like, this stuff's good. I use it in a lot of rum drinks where it needs aged rum. I do have a couple of other rums for, like, other bits and stuff. And we'll actually get back onto that later, because there's a funny, funny thing to mention about this drink. Because while it did start off being, you know, oh, how can I riff on a daiquiri? I kind of riffed so hard that I almost ended up being another drink, and now this is a halfway house between the two. But, more of that as we get on. So anyway. We are going to do 1.5 ounces of this beautiful, beautiful, delicious, sexy El Dorado. Can the camera see that? Not at all. There we go. That's going to have to do, I think. There is 1 ounce. And here is the other half. There we go. Right, now we're gonna throw the cap for the rum halfway across the room. No, we're actually gonna put it back on here. Right. So, our next couple of ingredients are gonna add that sweet factor that we wanted. So, in fact, next 3 ingredients. So, first up, nothing too surprising, but I'm gonna use another sugar syrup. This time it's Demerara. Again, to match the rum. You'll notice this is a lot more liquidy than my, like, if I bring the regular white sugar syrup back on camera. Like, you'll notice this is far more liquidy. That's because I fucked up when making this. And also because, like, you can put the same amount of Demerara sugar and white sugar in a pan with the same amount of water, and they'll produce 2 different consistencies of syrup. So you've got to kind of make your syrup ratios on a case-by-case basis, but that comes with practice, which I haven't had enough of. So, we're going to want a scant, like, 1/4 ounce of this Demerara syrup. So really not too much of this, and it's only a 1/4 ounce because the other ingredient, like, we've already got a butterscotchy rum. The other ingredients that are going into this are also quite sweet. This is literally just to bring out some flavors. It's not to sweeten the drink. We just want to like help express the other flavors. So there is 1/4 ounce of Demerara rum. Thank you kindly, good sir. Right. Now, we're going to get fun. We're going to get fruity. We're going to get sweet. Our first bottle we're using is none other than Midori, a classic melon liqueur. And as soon as I can get it open, excuse me 1 second. There we go. We're going to want 1/2 ounce of this. It is really nice stuff. It is very sweet. And I will say it's probably, because, you know, melon as a whole, like, yeah, it can be sweet, but it's mostly, you know, water. It does smell of a certain very, like, synthetic sweetness. So if you really don't like that, maybe you can sub out the Midori in this. But me, personally, I can certainly manage it in moderation. So there we are. 1/2 ounce of that there golden green stuff. But if I'm making a pick-me cocktail, though, green simply isn't the color. We're going to need... Well, green is one of the colors, I should say, but we're going to need something else that really radiates pick-me. We want something sweet. We want something yellow. And I just so happened to have here, almost like I've set this up previously, some Banana Liqueur. Now, this stuff, I'll be honest, I've not had this stuff very long. This stuff is fantastic. It smells... and I kid you not, like, if you've ever had the foam bananas at a pick and mix, I kid you not, dead ringer for this. Like, absolutely, like, you know, dead on. It's just concentrated foam bananas. It smells and tastes brilliant. I am trying to find, basically, as many different reasons to put this in, as many different things as possible. But, for now, just 1/2 ounce into our Daikiri. Makes a really nice sound when you pour it as well, although my microphone's pointed away from it, so you probably didn't hear that. So there we are. Do I... let me check the colour of this, actually. Yeah, no, that's looking that kind of... Well, it's looking very golden at the minute, but I'm sure in the fullness of time it will be quite yellow. Now, the astute and cocktail-eyed among you may be noticing, hang on, you're mixing rum, a sugar syrup, melon and banana liqueur? And you're probably going to throw in a lime, which you're right, a lime is the next ingredient. Are you, good sir? Perhaps about to throw in some pineapple juice as well and make a June bug. And you see, this is what I found about yesterday when I was doing the trial run for this drink. I was like, yeah, I've got this really nice drink. It mixes these good couple of fruit flavors. And it's, you know, it's pretty cool. And then I did some searching around on some of the ingredients I'd used, and people were like, oh yeah, if you just add pineapple juice to this and swap out the nice rum for Malibu, this is called a June bug. And I was like, oh, bollocks. But, in spite of that, I'm still making this drink. One, because I think without the pineapple juice and with a nicer rum instead of Malibu, because I'm going to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Malibu. I think it tastes like sun cream. I think Greg from How to Drink said it very well when he said, it's sun cream. But yeah. Like, because I don't use those ingredients, I'm going to say mine is legally distinct from a June bug. And if anyone doesn't like that, they can fight me. But, yeah, anyway, let me get on to cutting this lime. In hindsight, when I was downstairs last, it would have been a smart idea to, there we go. Chuck that there. It would have been a very smart idea to, maybe wash out my Mexican elbow as well. But I didn't, and now I'm going to live with those consequences. So, let's ready her up. I mean, it's all citrusy fruit anyway, and the majority of it will be lime, so I guess if a little bit of lemon sneaks in, so be it, you know? We're inclusive here. Right, let's try and express something from this lime. There we go. Hopefully I'm not talking past the microphone too much. Like I said, you'll have to excuse my somewhat janky setup. Now, how much lime juice are we going for here, you might ask, because I've just kind of started doing it and not said the actual amount. Now, I tried this with an ounce of lime juice before. Oopsie, let me move that out of the way. I tried this with an ounce of lime juice before, and I found that while it fit the nature of the daiquiri pretty well, I think it was a bit too limey and a bit too overpowering for some of my other flavors. But I still do want the lime to be very present. So we're going for 3/4 of an ounce here. Not a full ounce. And it doesn't look like we can get a full ounce out of this lime, actually. Bloomin' heck. I've really got the most out of this. It doth appear so. Unless there's any more I can bring out of it here. A couple of drops, but that's about it. Okay. Right. Fire number 2. Ooh, and preferably fire it into my jigger. There we go. We are working our way towards the 3/4 of an ounce mark now. There might just about be 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice in this lime. There may be hope yet for our hero. Our hero being me, by the way. I've decided this. On decree of me, I am great. Right, let's... Do we count that's 3/4 of an ounce? I'd say it's a little shy of it, but... You know what? We'll roll with it. This is experimental. This is different to what I've done in training. Admittedly, only by, like, about what? Just over 1/4 of an ounce of lime juice. But we're going to try it with that. So, it's a light 3/4 of an ounce. But 3/4 of an ounce, it definitely is. So, there we go. Right, now... I'm going to pop 1, 2, 3 ice cubes in there. And also, my ice cubes, while they've been up here, have melted slightly. So I'm just going to dip in some of the residual water. Because that's the thing people don't realize about ice cubes, is that, like, yes, it's nice to cool your drink down. And yes, it's nice to get that seal on your cocktail. But they also stop your cocktails from tasting too boozy, because they add, you know, in my case, 3 or 4 solid chunks of water in there. In fact, I am tempted to break my own rule and go and get a little bit more ice. Should I do that? I think for the good of the cocktail, for the good of making a really nice cocktail, I'm going to do that. I'm going to quickly take this downstairs, just put 2 more little cubes of ice in, and then I'll bring it back up. Last time I'm going for real this time, I promise. Back in just 1 second.
Right. Couple more chunks of ice in there. We're going to shake this, and we're going to see what happens. I mean, hopefully, we make a half-decent drink. We are trying to give you some cocktail shaker ASMR here. I bring it super close to the mic. Maybe that's ASMR, maybe it's just really loud clanking noises. I'm not actually sure how close or far away from the mic this should be. Hold on, let me try and gauge it based on my OBS. Somewhere about there, maybe? That's it. Bring it in a bit closer as the ice goes, because then obviously you get the loud clangs go away. Ow, and try not to hit yourself in the face with your shakers while you're doing this, because it's very little room. Alright, we're going to go with that. I think. Actually, should we give it a little bit more of a shake? Yeah, there we go. We're going to go with that. So, our glass, we're serving it in this kind of Margarita, daiquiri-ish kind of glass. Let's crack this open best we can. There we go. Pour this in here. And because this is a fancy drink, actually, I should have strained the last one. I completely forgot, to be honest. But we are going to strain this one. So here we go. Hoping we don't get it everywhere. There we go. And there you have it. The Daikiri. I am, once again, going to get a photo of this beautiful little number. Just like that. Put it on Twitter later. And yeah. Let's, God, I always forget how difficult these, particularly at perspective, these margarita glasses are to pick up. Like, they look wonderfully fancy. Like, if I try and pick this up a little more, so you get a good idea of, like, the color grading going on this thing. Very nice. But, yeah. I always forget how difficult these are to pick up at the wrong kind of perspective, because obviously they're very top-heavy. It's unusual for a glass. Well, unusual considering I mainly use just highballs and, you know, stuff like that. Let's give this thing a taste anyway and stop discussing glasses. Not what we're here for. We're here to try drinks, damn it. Oh, that hits the spot. Oh, I was so right about that 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. Yes. I've cracked it. That's the best version of that drink I've ever made. And, like, I know I've had some streams where I've walked away from them. Like, I think when I made the Cherry Captain for Hosho Marine, I was like, yeah, that idea was nice, but it could have used a bit more time in the oven. This and the DMGF are the two best drinks I've ever made on this channel. Like, these two are the ones to beat. This lovely number is, like, it's just enough lime juice so that the lime is present and it cuts through the other flavors. But, like, it just does that at the start. It almost gives you, like, a refreshing, like, hey, this is coming now. And then you get these beautiful, like, butterscotchy notes in the rum. You get the banana being very present, obviously, as you can probably tell by the yellowness of this drink. The Midori gives it a nice little bit of sweetness. The synthetic-iness is actually somehow kind of lost in it. Yeah, okay, no, actually, it's not quite lost. It's still somewhat there. But it just kind of marries with the banana. It's like, it gives the banana a boost at the cost of some of that synthetic-iness. And, you know, that's a trade I'm willing to make. Because this banana stuff, I think, is, like, actually the ichor of the gods. I love this stuff. And if you want to give me something that enhances this, I'm all for it, friend. I'm all for it. But yeah. God, truly magnificent stuff. And
I think a very fitting, like I say, tribute to the recently graduated Pikami. If she somehow sees this, then I hope that you are doing fantastically well, ma'am. May you find great happiness in whatever you do next or are doing currently. You know what I mean. But yeah, this drink goes out to her, and it's a bloody good one. Ooh. Yeah. I could get through a dangerous number of them. I could get through a very dangerous number of them. Ho, ho, ho. That is fantastic. Oh. But right, anyway. So, with that excellent drink made, like I said, I've said it, I know I just said it, but like, this is the episode to beat on terms of, you know, high bar, kind of cocktails made. I'm really happy with these two. You know, egg incident and destroyed pair of gloves aside, this is actually glove pair number 3, if you can believe it. Because the first ones were also destroyed in an egg-related incident. Maybe if I want to keep gloves around, then I should stop putting eggs in things. But I do have another 15 pairs of these gloves, so it's not the biggest deal. It's fine. You know, I'm just one of those cartoon characters that has like an identical outfit for every day of the week, and they all include these gloves. Oh. And yes, there are 15 weeks in the Glade. In case anyone's asking, that's why I said if I've got another 15 pairs. Actually, there'd be more than 15 weeks, wouldn't there? It'd be like 16 or 17 or I don't know. That's something for me to worry about when I get like actual lore. But actual lore is not what this stream's about. It's about fantastic cocktails. So let me actually let me bring the DMGF back on, because something I will point out with this drink that like you will notice is the kind of froth on this does eventually like recede back into the drink. Like, it's great when you're serving it. If you drink it straight away, you're gonna get a lot of that froth, and it's gonna be really good. But like, drink it while it's there, because it goes. And this stuff is still fantastic. But if you're in a gin fizz for this bit, get there as soon as it's served. And it's mostly that bit. But yeah, anyway, let me switch this off and then go over to here. So, all that's left for me to say now, really, is thank you very much for joining me damn it, that was going so well and I completely forgot what I was going to say. Thank you very much for joining me on this stream. We've made some pretty good cocktails. I will be posting the recipes for them in the description later. And by later, I probably mean tomorrow, because I'm going to be honest, I'm just going to go off and drink these and have a good evening now. Which I bid to you as well. Farewell, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.